I'm Janae Bridges, a two-time Grammy Award-winning mezzo-soprano opera singer, and today we're celebrating one of my key influences, the legendary opera singer Marian Anderson, a woman whose voice broke barriers and whose legacy continues to inspire generations. Marian Anderson wasn't just an opera singer. She was a symbol of resilience, artistry, and the fight for equality. So, let's dive into her extraordinary life and the impact she made on the world. Marian Anderson was born on February 27, 1897 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. From a young age, it was clear that Marian had a gift. She began singing in her church choir, where her powerful contralto voice quickly stood out. In fact, 4 years before she was born, the director of the National Conservatory in New York declared that Negro spirituals and indigenous themes would form the basis of American music, and African Americans were admitted to the school free of charge. It was here that Anderson got to hone her skills, and it became evident quite early that Marian Anderson's voice was outstanding. Since studying with renowned voice teachers, Anderson began performing in concerts across the United States. But despite her undeniable talent, she faced significant racial barriers in her own country. Although she refused to sing in halls that employed horizontal segregation, meaning whites sat in the orchestra and blacks in the balconies, but for many years she accepted vertical segregation, meaning whites on one side of the aisle and blacks on the other side. She explained in her memoir that she, the star, usually took her meals in solitude, and the white musicians accompanying her would enjoy post-show celebrations at fine dining establishments. She'd bask in raving applause only to then eat alone in second-class hotels. In the 1920s and 1930s, like many talented black artists of the time, Marian left the United States for Europe and found work and the respect she was denied in her own country. She performed in prestigious venues and won the admiration of audiences and critics alike. Her renditions of spirituals, classical arias, and German Lieder were unparalleled. Marian's voice was described as rich, velvety, and deeply emotional, a voice that could move anyone who heard it. She did come back home, and during a series of American tours in the late 30s, she performed in sold-out halls night after night and found herself one of the better paid entertainers of her time. In 1938, she earned nearly $250,000, which, adjusted for inflation, comes to $3.7 million. The white American critics were enraged. One of the most defining moments in Marian's career came on Easter Sunday, 1939. She was scheduled to perform at Constitution Hall, the largest concert venue in Washington, D.C., but the Daughters of the American Revolution, who owned the venue, refused to let her appear because she was black. In response, Eleanor Roosevelt resigned from the DAR, enlisted her husband, President Roosevelt, to give permission for Marian to perform an open-air concert on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Over 75,000 people attended and millions more listened on the radio. Her performance of My Country 'Tis of Thee that day wasn't just a concert. It was a powerful statement against racism and inequality. Marian Anderson became a symbol of the civil rights movement, proving that art and courage could challenge injustice. Another fascinating chapter in Marian's life was her friendship with the brilliant physicist Albert Einstein. The two met in the 1930s and formed a close bond. Einstein admired Marian's artistry and was deeply troubled by the racism she faced. In fact, when Marian was denied hotel accommodations due to her race, during a performance in Princeton, New Jersey, Einstein invited her to stay at his home. Marian stayed with the Einsteins whenever she was in town. Their friendship was a beautiful example of solidarity and mutual respect across racial and cultural lines. She broke a momentous barrier in 1955 when she became the first black soloist to appear at the Metropolitan Opera as Ulrica in Verdi's Un ballo in maschera. This groundbreaking moment paved the way for future generations of black opera singers, including legends like Leontine Price, Shirley Verrett, Grace Bumbry, Jessie Norman, Kathleen Battle, Denise Graves, and me. She went on to perform for 10 more years, not because she had to, but because the audience never wanted to let her go. They cherished not only what she was, but also what she had been. Throughout her life, Marian received numerous accolades, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the Kennedy Center Honor Award, and a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. But beyond the awards, her legacy lies in her courage, her artistry, and her unwavering commitment to equality. Marian Anderson passed away in 1993, but her voice, both literal and metaphorical, continued to resonate. She showed us that art has the power to transcend barriers and that one person's courage can change the world. Marian Anderson's story is a reminder of the strength and resilience of Black artists throughout history. I'm Janae Bridges, and thank you for celebrating the culture.